Hey guys, what's up? It's Justin, aka Diego. I'm gonna do my UI video, and it has taken me some time to put this video together. So if you guys could do me a favor, just rate it thumbs up, let your friends know about it so they could get rid of those shit default UIs. No, but I basically want to make this my last UI video, hopefully, and I want to make it as future-proof as I can. And want to talk about how you want to set up your UI to make your job easier, because you want to have add-ons obviously that are going to function in a way that make you perform your job better. I'm not a big cosmetic UI guy, so I just feel that those just suck up um, memory usage and stuff. So I don't really like cosmetic UIs, and I really don't like UI packs because they have some stuff that you don't need, and they come pre-set up, and they make in my personal opinion, they just come set up in a way where I personally want to move some stuff and change some stuff around. Where there probably are UI packs that you could do all that, move them around, but it just comes with a lot of unnecessary stuff that I just feel is not needed. So I just like having the UIs, the add-ons that I need, and to be able to customize them and move them whenever I need or whenever I want. So what I want to talk about first is the first thing you might notice about my UI, or the first thing I want you to notice about my UI, is how free the center of my screen is. That's pretty much where your eyes should be focused and are focused most of the time. They shouldn't be on your action bar. They shouldn't be uh, over to the left or over to the right of your screen. It should be right in the center. You should pretty much know your rotation by hand, by the back of your hand, if you will. That way, it just frees up your vision to keep your eyes on your character and keep you standing out of bad stuff, to keep you moving out of bad stuff, to keep the boss in certain positions, and just to keep you aware of what's going on, and that's a big part of tanking is awareness. Onyxia is a great fight. Nefarian, I mean, the phase one with Onyxia. You'll see I'm waiting for her to get her static little buff, and I am just staring at her, and I know my rotation. I glance down every half second to look at what my next button I'm pushing, and then when she statics, I just move her. Very aware of what's going on, and having a clear vision of your character just keeps you standing out of bad shit. And so I would that's why I have all my floating combat text, which is called mic scrolling combat text. I keep that all around my character. That way, obviously I know how much damage I'm doing, how much healing I'm taking, buffs I get, and the buffs that my target gets pops up right in the middle of my character. So obviously, if a boss gains a buff, it's pretty vital to know. Usually on every boss fight, it's pretty vital to know what buff they get, and it's usually requires you to do some sort of thing. So knowing when they get that buff, you could see it and prepare for it. I also have their cast bar right underneath my character's feet, and this is going to be important when paladins get rebuke. They don't have it yet, but the next patch when they actually do get rebuke, it's going to be important because we're going to be able to kick now consistently. So it's going to be really good to be able to see when a boss is casting something. I use Quartz to track that, so I move that right in the center of my screen, and it's going to be very obvious if I need to kick something. I'm going to see it. It's going to be a nice, big, long, bold cast bar, and I'm just going to boom, hit rebuke. Other add-ons that I use that are really good that I really recommend, obviously Omen for threat. I'm pretty sure everyone knows Omen, and Grid is amazing. My Grid was set up by a gentleman, I don't know the name of him, but it basically tracks you could see cooldowns that other tanks pop, like if a warrior pops shield wall or if anyone pops bark skin, not necessarily a feral tank. I mean, if healer pops bark skin, I could see that. So it's just really nice to track who has cooldowns, who's utilizing cooldowns, and so on and so forth, stuff like that. And Grid's just amazing just to have on any tune, just because as a paladin in phase 2 on Nefarian, you could be able to word of glory people that might need to heal. I would probably say the only add-on I have that is cosmetic that doesn't really serve too much of a purpose is Chatter. But I just like Chatter because you could just hover over and you don't have to click, and you could copy posts or links out of stuff. But other great add-ons that I have, obviously Bartender 4 lets me arrange my action bars any way I want them, and you'll see I have my main actions that I use predominantly right in the center there. So yeah, it tracks out like 14 buttons there, and then obviously other stuff that I use is right below it, and then all my auto combat stuff, auras, are all below that, and they're a little bit faded because obviously I don't use them in combat, and I don't need to see them a whole predominant long part of the time. So you'll see I have my debuffs tracked I have bold debuffs under my character unit frame, and that's obviously important because if you get a debuff, you're going to want it to be pretty bold and vibrant. So you're going to want to be able to see when you have a debuff, because usually getting a debuff requires you to do something, just like when a boss gains a buff requires you to do something. So same kind of mechanics there. And it's also just nice to, on my UI setup, I have it tracking my target debuffs. So if I'm off tanking and a tank takes 4 stacks of something and I need to taunt, I could see that and taunt appropriately at the appropriate time. So that's really good. I would probably say the add-on that is probably the least useful is Vengeance Status Tracker. It's right over my character unit frame there. And I would say it's the least useful because you shouldn't tank any different based on what vengeance you have. You pretty much do the same rotation. I just like to know when I have about 70% vengeance, I could pretty much just use Word of Glory and heal myself and maintain threat, because I know my normal rotation, aside from Shield of Righteousness, is going to be able to generate enough threat so DPS doesn't overcap me. So that's why I kind of like it there. And vice versa, if I'm at 10-20%, I know I should use Shield of Righteousness, because I probably won't be able to hold threat otherwise. So it's nice in that functionality. So yeah, my unit nameplate, or whatever you want to call it, that tracks my health, my targeted target, that's Shadow Unit Frames. I really like that. I have the party part disabled because I don't really need to see the party too much. But that's really nice. It also on bosses like Nefarian, or where there's multiple bosses, it will track boss health, Omnitron defense, so on and so forth. Even though they share a health pool, it's not really that big of a deal. But yeah, so on fights like Nefarian, it will track how much health Nefarian has, how much health Onyxia has, stuff like that. So yeah, Shadow Unit Frame's a really good one, and that's also ties in all the buffs and stuff that I was talking about earlier. Another add-on that I really like for tanking is Tidy Nameplates, and that's the nameplate add-on. It's not very vital on boss fights because you can't really see their nameplate a large part of the time because you're staring at either the boss's cock in your face or some other orifice of the boss. But on trash and stuff like that, it's really good because, the threat module called Threat Plates, it'll let you know if it's green, you're obviously tanking it and you have aggro. If it's yellow, you're about to lose threat. And if it's red, you're not tanking it and someone else is tanking it. So really good add-on. I really like that one. Nug Combo Points is another one that I would really recommend. I really love that. It's my Holy Power add-on. You see it right there, right next to my character right there. Another add-on that I really like is Power Auras. You'll see I have it tracking Sacred Duty. I also have it track a bunch of other stuff like Guarded by the Light, or whatever when I have the Absorb from my Word of Glory on me, and a couple other things like Inquisition and stuff. Really good add-on. It's even more versatile than when I'm using it for. You could have it set up to basically show any type of thing, and you could customize it beyond belief, but I have it set up to just show when I have certain stuff that I need to account for, and you could set it up to just show a bunch of different stuff if you want to, but that's another amazing add-on I highly would recommend. When it comes to setting up your UI, you'll see I have the most important things close to center, because that's where I want my eyes fixated, and that's where I want my most vital add-ons to display my information. So, like I said, boss debuffs, casting, boss casts, holy power, and my main rotation, my main abilities that I use are all really close to center. That's because it's just a quick glance away if I need to stare at those things for just a quick second to see if I have this up, if I have this up, this is on cooldown, and I need if all my cooldowns are on cooldown, I get call for a healer cooldown. Maybe I could say cooldown more in that sentence. What do you guys think? I don't know. But yeah, so I really like the functionality of my UI to be able to move stuff when I want, and I'm sure a lot of UIs can do that, but I just like being able to customize it to my own personal needs, and I would strongly recommend you doing that too. And with that, that'll basically wrap up my UI video, guys. I talked about most of my add-ons. There are stuff that you can't see, like boss mods and stuff I use. But pretty much everyone's going to be running those boss mods, whether it's deadly boss mods or I forget the other ones. Deuce Fox is really good. I'm not sure if it's still kept up, but yeah. So all that stuff that you could see, hopefully I talked about and answered some questions that you guys had, and also gave you guys some insight of how to set up your UI to better your tanking abilities. And that's probably the most important thing. So hopefully you guys took away that at least. But that's been it from me, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. Stay classy, bitches.